Hi, Section from Moment Factory here, talking to you about our adventures with Nine Inch Nails. It was a great experience to work with Nine Inch Nails and Trent Reznor and Rob Sheridan and Roy Bennett. Trent wanted to make the stage an instrument. He wanted also to be able to manipulate the visuals of the stage with his movement, with the music. And our system gave him the possibilities basically to create this huge video game where the stage is the joystick in a certain sense, and where Trent basically pushes the buttons of the joystick throughout the show with different effects, different games. Moment Factory's interactive system is like you have a brain, and then there's different inputs and outputs, a little bit like the human body, where the senses are the inputs and the outputs are emotions. So in that same sense, the brain gets different signals from different devices. It can either be music, MIDI, sound, or sensors, movement. So all these different inputs generate content through hard code programming and output video content on different screens or lighting or different types of images.
One of the challenges that we had at the beginning was to adapt our XMS system that was made for, we're using it for events, for museum, for different permanent installation. We had to adapt the whole system for touring condition. Every device needed to be like rethink to be like rugged. So it's going to be like set up and dismantled every day. Another challenge for adapting the system was to make it really versatile. So it would be ready to adapt the creative process that wasn't finished, that needed to continue to happen during the programming period.
One of the ways we worked with Trent and Nine Inch Nails was that because they were in Los Angeles and we were in Montreal, we made them a few quick little videos to show them what the system could do in order to give them guidelines and to what the possibilities were and the time limits. We did all of this work in about 3 months. One of the difficulties with our system is that it's so open and it can do so many different things. It's like a big open playground. And how to define that, and then how to create different limits and how to explain its possibilities. I think basically Trent really understood really quickly because he's really used to working with a lot of different technologies with his music and with his videos and with his shows. Basically how the workflow structure worked is that Trent basically decides, and then Rob Sheridan, which is the art director from Nine Inch Nails, helps design the content and gives the direction for the images. And then Roy Bennett actually designed the stage and the lighting and all the system for the stage design. And Moment Factory designed interactive sequences in the show. There was 2 stealth screens that had transparency and 1 LED screen in the back, more traditional LED screen in the back, and then these screens could be moving up and down. And then there was a whole bunch of moving lights and a lot of different other toys that Roy was playing with.
Hi, I'm Pam Rocks, and I'm the multimedia director and integrator for Moment Factory. Trent Reznor has always been known as an innovator, and we at Moment Factory feel honored that he has chosen to work with us in bringing touring rock shows to the next level. Working with an interactive system, it gives the musicians that freedom that has been lost in the contemporary touring shows. Right now, the musicians are restricted from time code, and you have to stay synced all the time and always play the song exactly the same every show. Whereas with our interactive system, it gave him a lot of leeway in that respect, and his musicians could improvise on stage a little bit, and they could trigger the videos themselves with our system. The integration process was quite intricate and complex. We had to pre-program games and pre-program all these parameters and give ourselves options so that during the days when the musicians were there and Trent was there, we had parameters to play with, and we could adjust the games or modify the games or see how the inputs would affect the color or would affect the movement or the physics or the gravity of these particles that we were working with. And it wasn't until you actually had the presence of the musicians or the presence of Trent that you could really see the effect that you were going to get.
In Echoplex, Trent wanted to use the stage as a musical instrument. So we developed a semi-type of touchscreen, which was basically a sequencer on the stage. So on the LED screen, there was a graphic of a sequencer. As soon as the drummer would activate certain buttons, they would turn red. And when the tempo was flying by, the red line, the white line actually that's scrolling along is the tempo, and that would activate specific sounds. So as the drummer would activate the different cues, the music would start in Only, Trent wanted to play with video noise on the screens. What we did is developed a system where his presence opens up a certain part of the noise so we can see through him. So his presence actually lights up specific lights, and it opens up a black hole in the noise on the screen. Later on in the song, as he moves, there's a certain velocity. His arm moves, and it gives a velocity to the noise. And the noise sequences goes from the back to the front, so it's almost like a tornado of video noise that goes around. So he's really free to play on stage, come in and out where he wants. So it's a real, it's a kind of a performance tool, really, that was designed for. So for the Piggy track, Trent wanted that the music creates the video. What we did is we generate images through the sound. So towards the end of that segue, Trent gets filmed live, and we put this kind of monster-y effect on his face to kind of represent the music at that point, where it's very melancholic, and it creates this kind of UFO-ish kind of being that represents very well the music then. And this is all generated live, and using the beats of the music to distort the images on the screen at that point. So towards the end of that segue, one of the band members comes up with a big flashlight and lights up the screen, and that flashlight acts as a big eraser somehow to erase the images on the screen, and that brings us to the next song as a transition. In Terrible Lies, what we did is we used the lighting to generate video content. So as the lights come on, our system takes that input and creates distorted visuals that are basically generated directly from the lights. We find it interesting to kind of merge the gaps between light and video, so the lights really create the video in that song.
What Trent Reznor has done with the Nine Inch Nails show is spectacular, and we can tell you all about it all we like, but it's nothing until you go see it yourself.
Obviously, it was a great experience to have the chance to work with Trent and Nine Inch Nails, and to have the chance to work closely with such visionaries. Peace.